Welcome back, everybody, to the program. It's John Pollock here alongside Robin Black. We are looking ahead. Saturday night, June the 13th, the UFC returns to Mexico in Mexico City, where we are going to have the undisputed heavyweight champion come out of UFC 188 as Cain Velasquez makes his return to the octagon, meeting interim champion and the man who joins us on the line, Fabricio Werdum. Fabricio, thank you so much for joining us today.
No problem. Anytime, man. Okay.
All right, well, let's talk about this fight because it's one that has been talked about for a long time at this point. How anxious are you just to get into the octagon and finally settle who is the top heavyweight in the UFC? Because this is certainly a big fight for both of your careers.
Sí, ya estoy esperando esta pelea de hace muchos años ya, y no es una pelea que estoy esperando desde ahora. Me estoy concentrando desde hace muchos años para poder ganar a Cain Velasquez. El 13 de junio voy a poder enseñar quién es el verdadero campeón del mundo.
Fabricio says that he is really anxious for fighting with Cain. He waited a lot, so he's really excited to jump to the octagon in June.
Cain, when you face Cain, one of the tools that he likes to use is pace. He likes to control the pace, and that's one of the tools he uses to win. How can you control the pace? What tools do you use to control the pace against Cain Velasquez?
Sí, aquí estoy hace un mes en México, lejos de mi familia, por eso que voy a ganar a Cain Velasquez para poder voy a sorprender el mundo una vez más. Porque la gente no cree que yo puedo ganar a Cain Velasquez, pero sí yo puedo, y yo estoy seguro que le va a ganar porque la confianza del entrenamiento que tengo ahora es 100% para poder ganar a Cain Velasquez el 3 de junio.
Okay, he said that he knows that Cain is a really complete fighter, but he's going to mix different techniques to win Cain, and he's been in DF Mexico for 1 month. It's a really long time for the altitude, and he knows that people think that he can't win Cain, but he will. He knows that.
Fabricio, a lot of people would look at the biggest win of your career coming back in 2011 against Fedor Emelianenko. Would this be the biggest win of your career against Cain Velasquez?
No puedo hacer esa comparación ahora mismo, no puedo porque todavía no peleé contra él. Entonces, cuando tenga la pelea contra Cain Velasquez, voy a poder hacer la comparación de los dos. Pero sí va a ser una pelea. La pelea de Fedor ha sido la más importante de mi vida ahora mismo. Pero después que gane Cain Velasquez, voy a poder hacer la comparación.
Okay, he said that right now he can't compare these two fights because he never fought with Cain. But when he fights, and then we will know which fight was the most difficult one.
Going back to last November when you fought Mark Hunt, of course, that took place in Mexico, and a lot of fans that watch maybe don't appreciate the difference in fighting in Mexico when you're fighting at elevation. Was it drastically different for you? I know you trained in Mexico, so were you ready for that obstacle of fighting at elevation as this fight will be contested at as well?
Sí, yo voy a estar preparado para Cain Velasquez 5 asaltos. El que quiere hacer más, debe hacer 7 o 8, estaré preparado, porque aquí estoy a una altitud de 3,600 metros de altitud, y ahí concentrado y todo, y yo estoy seguro con el entrenamiento que estoy haciendo, con la confianza que tengo, le va a ganar, sin prepotencia, pero sí le va a sorprender el mundo una vez más.
Okay, he said that he's ready to fight 5 rounds if that's necessary. He's been in Mexico for 1 month in more than 3,000 meters, so he's ready for the altitude, and he knows that he's prepared to fight Cain.
Fabricio, would it be fair to say that that your approach to beating a guy whose strength is wrestling is with a dual specialty of jiu-jitsu and striking? If it's on the ground, you submit him. If it's on the feet, you try to hurt him. Is that accurate?
Yo quiero acabar la pelea cuanto antes. Si yo le puedo noquear a Cain Velasquez en un asalto, lo haré. Si yo le puedo someter, seguramente lo haré. Pero yo creo que esta pelea va a ser en el tercer asalto. Tercero o cuarto asalto, sí, Cain no va a aguantar y va a sentir la diferencia de México. Va a ser que México es diferente. Entonces va a sentir mucho el cardiovascular.
Okay, he said that he wants to finish Cain. he thinks that maybe in the third or fourth round the finish will end, but he's prepared and he wants to finish the fight.
Also this week, Fabricio, the biggest news and one that's going to have repercussions for years to come is the UFC announcing their new drug policy. There's going to be random drug testing year-round. USADA, which is a major agency, is going to be in charge of all of the drug testing. From a fighter's point of view, what is your reaction to this? And essentially, as a fighter now, you are going to be on call 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and I think it's a radical change to the way things had been handled in the past.
Sí, el tema del doping es un poco complicado hablar de esto. Yo estoy preparado cuando quiera la Comisión Atlética venir a hacer el test conmigo, yo lo haré cuando quieran ellos. Entonces yo nunca he tenido problema con doping, ¿no? Es un tema un poco complicado de hablar, pero yo creo que tiene que ser derechos iguales para todos. Si uno se puede tomar algo, el otro también se puede. Entonces yo creo que tiene que ser igual a todos, para todos.
I think that it's complicated to talk about the doping right now, but I think that it's fair the new policy that the athlete commission is taking, and I'm prepared if they want to do some tests. I'm willing. I don't. It's okay with me.
Fabricio, you trained for decades to be one of the greatest jiu-jitsu players in the world. And then in the last decade, you have become a brilliant striker, wonderful striking techniques under Rafael Cordero. And what are the similarities between becoming a great jiu-jitsu player and becoming a great striker? And what are the differences in how you train and how you trained to become good in both?
Sí, el culpable de todo esto, de mi entrenamiento, de que yo soy un luchador completo hoy, es Rafael Cordero. Rafael Cordero es mi profesor de hace 8 años y él me cambió el juego completamente. Para mí, el mejor técnico del mundo, y en Kings MMA entrenamos muy fuerte. En Kings MMA entrenamos el sparring, la técnica y de todo. Entonces, el gimnasio para mí, el más completo que hay en Kings, y el culpable del juego ha cambiado es Rafael Cordero.
Okay, he says that the guilty person of he's being a really good fighter is Rafael Cordero. He's his professor, and he's been teaching him for the last 8 years, and he thinks that he was the one that gave him the techniques and the skills to start fighting like he's fighting right now.
And final thing before we let you go, Fabricio, certainly when you mention Rafael Cordero, we can't overlook the new UFC lightweight champion, Rafael dos Anjos, who did surprise many people, defeating Anthony Pettis. Just talk to us how proud you are of your training partner in Rafael dos Anjos, and now potentially both of you coming out of this weekend as undisputed champions in your respective weight classes.
Sí, en el mundo ahora solo hay 2 gimnasios que tienen 2 cinturones, Kings MMA y AKA. El gimnasio de Cain Velasquez con Daniel Cormier, y nuestro con el mío, con mi cinturón, y con el de Rafael dos Anjos. Entonces, el 13 de junio solo va a haber un gimnasio con 2 cinturones, y el gimnasio es Kings MMA.
Okay, he said that he's really proud of Rafael dos Anjos, that now the gym where they work out is one of the 2 gyms that have 2 belts. So he thinks that after this weekend, they will know that one gym is going to be the owner of two belts, and it's going to be that one.
And Fabricio, when we saw Dos Anjos beat Pettis, a key to it was pressure striking, pressure grappling, pressure, lots and lots of pressure. Is that going to be the key to beating Cain as well?
Sí, voy a hacer lo mismo con Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez viene con todo, el primer asalto, el segundo asalto, pero yo le voy a enseñar que yo soy muy duro, que aguanto golpes para después que sea mi turno, ¿no? Va a ser después yo. Seguramente vamos a hacer lo mismo con la pelea contra Cain Velasquez.
Yes, I think that I'm going to use the same technique. I am a tough fighter. I know that I'm going to do the same that Rafael dos Anjos do with Pettis, and I am ready to beat Cain.
Well, there you have it. Cain Velasquez, Fabricio Werdum. It's happening Saturday night, June the 13th. Main event of UFC 188 to unify the UFC Heavyweight Championship. Do tune into Fight Network Saturday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time for our 1-hour live pre-show. Prelims at 8, and then the pay-per-view, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We wish you all the best, Fabricio, going into the fight next Saturday night.
Sí, quisiera decir que esta pelea contra el 13 de junio contra Cain Velasquez y yo va a ser la pelea del ciclo, la pelea de Pacquiao, y Mayweather no fue nada. Esa pelea va a ser la del ciclo.
Okay, he said that this fight of Fabricio and Cain is going to be the fight of the century. Not Pacquiao and not Mayweather. This is going to be the fight of the century.
Wow, high expectations set from one Fabricio Werdum. Thank you very much, Fabricio. We look forward to watching the fight.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, man. Thank you for your time.